We're back. We're back. It took him like about 10 seconds.
Okay. This was the first letter I showed you to vacate, which already indicated the situation behind that, which already in the court pending non-payment of rent. My name has to be added to the lease. Did all the necessary paperwork. To prove that, here's permanent permission request for a family member, additional person to live with a project tenant.
And you need to tell the date.
The date on this was back in 2002. Okay.
That your mother submitted.
My mom's was sick at the time. She needed someone to help her. I worked for the New York City Housing Authority at the time. I worked in this location, Queensbridge South. I worked there for 12 years. Okay, when the home attendant would leave, I would come here and I would assist my mother in whatever she needed. My mom would say, I want to add you to this lease because I don't know, how your mother thinks and stuff like that. She don't know how long she was going to be here, as far as living wise.
And
so
there was no policies given to y'all to tell you any other terms, even though you even worked for housing. It was kept secret. Those are important. I'm not trying to interrupt you.
Okay,
I'm
yes,
trying to put things in that these
continue
viewers
doing what
need
you're
to
doing
know.
because that's assisting me. Now, as I'm saying, this paper here is the proof that it was filled out. It was done. The response from this was, okay, I had got arrested for a misdemeanor in the year 2005.
Were you ever convicted of that crime?
I was convicted of the crime. I was convicted of a misdemeanor, and the New York City Housing Authority says that I got arrested in 2005.
And that means there was a time where you were not eligible to live here.
Correct, because I have the ineligibility list right here. It indicates on the ineligibility list for a misdemeanor is that 4 years. Okay, a 4-year
Okay, folks, time out. All right, people, this is the next segment, and with every beginning of every segment, of about 5 minutes each, I say something. Look, man, you guys are screwed looking like this if your if your shade is like this. I told you, I'm a French green card guy, and English is my third language. And I was born rich. I own my own slave in my country. And I'm kind of like hesitant to say that because I think that hurts African Americans. And I say a lot of bad things about y'all. And the reason I do that is because of the experience that I had with African American females from the time when I had economic relationships in order to get sex because I look like them. That's what I had to get unless I'm in another country and all that stuff. And it's always been an economic relationship. But with New York City Housing Authority, they take these women, they give them stuff, put them in power positions, give them titles, and they hunt men. They hunt other women. They hunt to harvest these apartments, which are worth so much money. That's how the 21 developments ended up getting sold for $500 million in a tax-free bond issue, and nobody in housing even got notice, even though Shirley Huntley held hearings. Nobody got notice, or these guys never got credit for being able to, with their discretionary income, buy these bonds that would lead to a certain amount of money in order for them to buy out of housing, cash in their chips, and go put down on a house somewhere in the ghetto, another ghetto. But we're at 2 minutes. You're on.
Okay, what I want to say now is as far as power of attorney. This is a paper that was given to me by the New York City Housing Authority Law Department.
In order for your mother to sign it, for you to have the authority to take care of her affairs.
Correct, which I do. Okay. Now, after all this time went by, she wound up in a nursing home. Okay. Now, this is the date. This is the paper from the nursing home.
And the date is?
And the date was 07 when she went to the nursing home.
And May of 07.
Right. May of 07. And this is paper to prove the fact that
You've been taking care of your mother for years. You should be eligible if the remaining family member policy threshold was not raised under Bloomberg for you to get an administrative process to inherit this apartment as part of the multi-generational aspect of public housing. That's federal law, and you are entitled to a competent administrative process. And you remember what Doris Mitchell told us she went through.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and you know, they don't, it's very sad, the laws and the policies that housing have, you know. And this guy here, I don't know who he is, but this guy was appointed for my mother at the Black and Pennington Law Office. This is at
call his name out.
Ralph Pennington Jr. Ralph Pennington Jr. I don't know who this guy is. I never met him.
I believe
he never called me. He never sat down and said, "Let me talk to you." I told him I had power of attorney. He acted like that didn't matter. That had no power at all. So why is it called power of attorney?
Now,
if it has no power,
that means that these guardians that are on a list that are picked to take care of a client, human resources got to be in it, adult protective services got to be in it, and NICE has got to trigger the paper flow through the court of landlord-tenant court and Supreme Court in Article 81 proceeding. These guys are freaking overwhelmed with stuff they couldn't freaking understand with that education you gave them and said, you got a high school diploma, good luck in life. Right, Mayor Bloomberg? You knew what you was getting. You got people with, and this guy is above a third grade reading level, but the other one, not too many other ones are. Go.
Yes. Okay, this guy, Ralph Pennington Jr. It says, please be advised, I have been appointed by New York City Housing Authority as your guardian ad litem, which, I don't know, craziness. Essentially, my role is to help protect your tenancy rights and interests in this matter. He's not interested in protecting my mother's rights. This man is interested in protecting housing's rights. Okay? Because the man never spoke to me. He never called me, said, I want to come, can I come and have a conversation with you? Can I speak to you? Can we go over what's going on? You know, what can be done about this situation? I understand that you're power of attorney. You've been taking care of your mother.
What's your position? What'd you do?
Yeah, what you do.
How can I use what you did
to
advocate for your mother for the succession rights she's entitled to her son? That's not a black social reject that you're about to go slay him. I want to watch y'all. I'm going to bring to y'all how NYCHA is going to make him out to be the biggest no good piece of crap in the world, tarnishing his mother's legacy and what she done in raising a good kid.
Yeah, I understand. I'm knocking on wood.
Knock on wood.
What I'm basically saying here is that it's just so unfair. It's unconstitutional. And they talk about the Constitution. You know, the Constitution is but a joke. Because the Constitution is broken every day. It's a joke. Okay? It's a joke. Everybody, all men are created equal? BS. I'm not going to say the word, but I'm going to say the letters. BS. Because it doesn't exist. I'm black. Here's a letter from the manager stating, let me quote what he says. Gregory Jones is residing at 41-11 12th Street. He is residing in his mother's apartment and must pay use and occupancy of $150 per month. His right to tenancy is still under review. Listen to that clearly. Still under review.
After how much time?
Well, they gave me a 30-day notice. Well, no, but they gave me a 30-day notice. Check that out. Still under review, but I got a 30-day notice.
And the date on this is March 24, right. 2011.
2011. I even got some that this is I think the third or fourth letter he gave me. That my tenancy here is under review.
That means he should have been referred for an administrative process.
Correct.
At 250 Broadway, and they don't have enough room to handle the 300,000 undocumented remaining family members that's all over housing.
The non-payment of rent. Got this document. I got nothing but documentation. I got documentation for my whole case. Okay, I'm not just speaking. I wasn't here not filling out papers at the time that my mom was here. We did all the paperwork. We did everything according to the housing authority.
You worked for them, so you ought to know.
I work for the. I don't want to mention what they are, but I work for them. Okay, and
in what department?
I was a caretaker for 14 years.
What building?
I worked Queensbridge South houses.
Woo.
And then 2 years in Ravenswood houses. Now, this is a subpoena. I had to subpoena Human Resources to find out about the checks, which are in my name for the rent. So that means that I got on public assistance because I had mail coming here to show that I lived here. A utility bill, such as the phone bill. That's how I got a case open.
And that's how they're paying rent for you here.
Correct.
NYCHA is not accepting.
No, I wouldn't say they're not accepting. What happens is that, well, yeah, they're not accepting because
they're not cashing them.
I'm
not giving you credit and residency.
I'm not on the lease, and that's
which
what we've
would
been fighting
lead to a
for.
lease.
So if I was on the lease, the checks would have been cashed, okay, and there wouldn't be no non-payment of rent process or proceeding. I mean,
I didn't pay them rent for 56 months. I tagged them with 12/19/56. I lived there for 12 years. I'm one man that's a badass, kick-ass brother. And I stopped the marshal 9 times from evicting me, and I didn't pay rent for 56 months. And I'm going to teach everybody that want to know how to do the same thing.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you ain't paying no more rent.
All right, I understand that. This is what the rent that I paid when I was working. And then there's rent that was also paid that I have more documentation to prove that they cashed, and I got paper checks. Do y'all want to see the paper checks?
Wait a minute. Your name is the guy that paid the rent and he took it.
When I was working, I sent money orders. Yes.
Bingo! I'm going to love this
This is what
case.
it says. This is what it says.
I'm going to love this.
This is what it says on the money orders. Gregory Jones, in care of Lottie Jones, cashed. Gregory Jones, in care of Lottie Jones,
We're going in 10 minutes.
cashed.
We'll come back to you. Commercial break.